We've got Callum Lyle who says, if you've got Robert Eggers on this show, would you do it? Well, Andre, I don't think we'd not have just about anybody on the show unless they
No,
were
we'd love
dead.
to have. You mean Robert Eggers, the director? Hell yeah, I'd love to have him, the director of the Northman. I'd love
Oh,
to
yeah.
pick his brain about
Ooh.
that.
I think we even
Absolutely.
tried to get a hold of him at one point, but
Yeah, we
I don't
did.
think we've had any
But
luck yet, have we?
yeah, no. Well, we didn't push it enough. Maybe we can, but we can push it in conjunction with Nosferatu, which is his next thing.
Ooh, I'm excited for that one. That one
Oh,
looks
me
good.
too.
It's got a really good cast.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Kara,
then
tell
we
me
got-
your history with Nosferatu before we move on briefly, since you're excited for it.
I mean, I saw the. I mean, I've of course seen the original story of Nosferatu, but I'm a fan of vampire flicks, so it's a win-win for me. And of course, since it's the director of Northman, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do love Nosferatu. I do think that's one of the greatest movies ever made. And the remake by Werner Herzog is a proof that not all remakes have to be bad, because that's a completely separate thing, and it's an absolute masterpiece too, just in a slightly different way.
Yeah, and
So,
we can actually thank Werner Herzog for making Baby Yoda be a real puppet.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that. I love that they.
Well.
I love that they did him practical.
Yeah, but that was all. Yeah, he actually told them, "You are cowards if you don't use this puppet." That's what he said. He told them.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to bully them. They're like, "Oh, we can do it in post." There's just not that same chemistry. I mean, yes, it's a puppet, but there's that like it makes a difference. Practical effects really make a difference. And CG lately is just, especially like from what I saw in Mandalorian alone, is just going overboard. And I feel like we've taken a step back in what CG has the capabilities of producing. I personally think it's kind of gone bad.
You're right.
Overused completely.
And they didn't have much of a choice with Werner, because he told him that he was going to shoot like 10 Jawas and himself if they didn't use practical effects. So.
Well, I mean, I like CG if it's to accentuate something, but just overly doing it is just it's overkill and it looks fake.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
It ruins the immersion.
But there's actually, Andre laughed, and he was the one who got that joke. Because I don't know if you've ever heard that story about where.
No, because this is actually a very, very true story. Werner Herzog did that. This was when he was first filming Agire, der Zorn Gottes, which is one of the greatest movies ever made that very few have heard about, but you all check it out. That's the first movie where Werner Herzog worked with Klaus Kinski, who is also one of the greatest actors ever to grace this planet with his presence. And he was also a complete psychopath and a raging madman. think Amber Heard with male version, and there you have Klaus Kinski. Hey, Paul, I'm just gonna finish the story. So basically, then the two they are clashing while they are shooting. By shooting, I mean while they're filming Agire in the middle of the Amazon. So everyone is tense. Everything sucks. They really hate it. This is this movie is like made guerrilla style in the middle of the jungle, and Klaus Kinski is difficult to deal with and work with anyway, but he's really difficult this time. And that's when Werner Herzog produces a gun and he points it at Kinski and he says, "This movie will outlive all of us. We may suffer now, but if we do this right, this movie is going to live forever. So you are now going to do this take one more time, and you're going to do it amazing. And if you don't, I will freaking shoot you and then shoot myself." And he meant it. Because Werner Herzog is that kind of character. And when in doing that, he tamed Kinski just enough that he was able to do 5 or 4 more movies with him. And he's the only director able to do that. And the best work that either Klaus Kinski or Werner Herzog ever did is what they did together. And for those of you who are listening to what I'm saying, like, who? Check them out. Check out those movies. And you will be blown away by the master craftsmanship that went into both acting and directing of those. And the two of them also made the Nosferatu remake from 1979, which is well worth checking out. And then we're going to have the third one from Robert Eggers. And I'm so excited because that means that we'll have 3 different versions of Nosferatu, and all 3 of them presumably will be masterpieces in their own rights, and 3 very different takes on the same Dracula story.
Story time with
I'm down.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of bedtime stories his kids hear, by the way. Thank you so much. Bryant Barth has been a member for 3 months and says, question, have you seen the Fitzcarraldo? Sorry. Also, what if Klaus Kinski was working in modern Hollywood? Okay, so Fitzcarraldo, I have not. Anybody else
is another masterpiece because it's a story based on a real story in history where you had like this crazy eccentric guy. Again, this is in the jungles of South America, and he wants to move this huge, massive boat from one river to another river the short way. So he wants to carry it, or have the natives carry it over a hill.
I know this movie, yeah.
Rivers. And you know how they filmed it? Again, this being
see, didn't a bunch of people get hurt and killed during the making of this?
Yes, people died during the making of that movie, and they got maimed for life and everything because we know how they filmed it. Again, this is
practically is how they filmed
Herzog. And so what would Werner Herzog do when he is trying to make a movie about an event where some crazy guy had a bunch of locals literally carry a boat, a huge-ass boat, across a mountaintop to take it down to the other river again? Well, he repeated it. He got a boat exactly like it, and he went to the place where it happened, and he basically got a bunch of locals said, okay, we're not going to do it now, I'm going to film it.
Yep.
That's the movie.
Like I said, practically. That's how he did it.
Yeah, he did it practically. No CGI there. That was blood, sweat,
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
With emphasis on love. Sorry,
in fact, I think, if I remember right, reading somewhere that movie has the biggest body count of any movie in history, I believe, which is why I'm familiar with it. Like, more people died making that movie than any other movie, yeah.
People lost limbs and everything.
Yeah.
And if Klaus Kinski was working today in Hollywood, he wouldn't, because he'd have been canceled a billion times.
A long time ago, yeah.